Okay, I'll call to order the June 23rd meeting of the Historic Preservation Commission. Um, And the first order of business is a moment of silence. All right, our next item is the reading of our historic preamble. Arthur?
The City of Staunton Historic Preservation Commission consists of 5 volunteer voting members appointed by City Council. The commission is responsible for issuing or denying certificates of appropriateness for any material change in appearance of contributing and non-contributing properties within the historic districts, with the exception of ordinary maintenance and repair items listed in the zoning ordinance. The purposes for establishing a special historic preservation ordinance are to preserve and improve the quality of life for residents of the city, to promote tourism, investment, and business growth, to stabilize and improve property values, to educate residents on local cultural and historic heritage, to promote local historic preservation efforts, and to prevent the encroachment of additions or new buildings and structures which are architecturally incongruous with their environments, to recognize and develop the historic areas as integral parts of the city.
All right. Thank you.
Well, there is one. For more information, please refer to H1 Historic Preservation District, an ordinance of the zoning code of the city of Staunton, Virginia.
All right, thank you. Okay, next item of business is approval of the May 26th, 2026 meeting minutes. Are there any corrections or comments on those? Do we have a motion?
I'll move we approve the May 26th meeting minutes.
Or wasn't here?
I believe that you don't have to abstain.
Second.
You can second it. Yeah, I'm looking at Rodney. Yes.
Okay. All right, motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Motion passes. Minutes are approved. All right, moving on to new business. And before we do, I would note that anyone in attendance can make a comment or any of the items on the agenda tonight. And our first order of business is a certificate of appropriateness for 212 North Market Street, replace porch roof. Eric Stamer.
Hi, my name is Christy Crittenden, and I'm here representing my next door neighbor, Eric, who's not able to be here this evening. And the roof they want to put on is a standing seam roof to replace this old metal roof that you can see in the pictures displayed. It's a shingle roof, and the getting the new shingles was rather problematic and extremely expensive, I think. And so they're inspecting the existing roof, replacing any weak or deteriorated roof materials. They're putting on this 24 galvanized pre-finished standing seam roof system. And then they're going to put in new flashings and new powder coated snow guards. And they're also going to be inspecting and replacing and replace any weak or deteriorated roof decking. So just I think
Okay.
and the neighbors all are encouraging.
All right, and we can see the condition of the existing roof. Are there any questions or comments? Frank, anything else to add to your review
No, nothing else to add.
here? Do we have a motion?
I'll do. I move for the approval of the certificate of appropriateness for the installation of a traditionally detailed standing seam metal roof and snow guards. The motion is based upon the local guidelines stating one of the most important elements of a structure. The roof serves as the cover to protect the building from the elements. Good roof maintenance is absolutely critical for the roof's preservation and for the preservation of the rest of the structure. And I cite from the guidelines for existing buildings, elements J, roof, 8, 10, and 12. And also, all chimneys are to be retained and properly flashed using step flashing and set into mortar joints, not cut into the brick. The new roof will not incorporate visible ridge vents or caps along the hips or ridges. The pan will be flat without corrugations. The new roof will not be a snap lock with wide V-shaped seams. The new roof will utilize a 1-inch folded seam, and the seams will appear as a closed, locked, and folded seam.
Made, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Say that we have traditionally approved replacement of these stamped roofs with standing seam. All right. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
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 Chair votes aye. Motion passes unanimously. Good luck and thank you.
Thank you very much.
Second item on our agenda tonight is certificate of appropriateness for 221 East Beverly Street for a chimney repair, replacement, and addition of solar panels. Lowell Brown.
Hi there. My name's Lowell Brown. I'm at 221 East Beverly. And my saga started with trying to get an alternate energy source for heating. We thought maybe we could put a wood or pellet stove in, but it turns out that these glorious chimneys we have are divided flues. So the flues weren't big enough to pull up wood smoke. But while the different contractors were up there examining the chimneys, they informed us that the rear one with the arrow there was in danger of falling down and killing the neighbor's cat. And we didn't want that to happen. So Frank recommended a few people, including Alan Weekly, and we have engaged him to do the work upon approval. He's apparently very well versed in replacing historic structures, and I talked with him yesterday, and he has specs for the kind of brick and mortar he'll be using. In conjunction with that, we started talking to Tiger Solar about whether it would be possible to get some solar panels up there that would be inconspicuous, and whether it would be even worth it. If we could get enough up that it would be worth the labor. And they came back with a proposal for 17 panels. The only set that would be partially visible would be on the east side. So you could see that at least the corner of them as you're walking down the hill toward downtown on Beverly. I saw that the recommendation showed needing to see a demonstration. I'm not exactly sure how Tiger Solar does it, but what I understand is it's a standing seam roof, and I understand they can clamp right onto that standing seam and place the panels flush with the roof. So I'm happy to field additional questions or whatever.
Any questions? I have one question. So we're only talking about the repair and replacement for one chimney or all three?
Just the one chimney. Had a few different contractors up there, and they said that the front chimney there without the arrow could use some repointing. And Mr. Weekly said he'd be able to do that while he's up there. But it has integrity, whereas the rear one, it will either take an awful lot of repointing, or more likely it will have to be taken down piece by piece. Mr. Weekly will save the bricks that he can and then rebuild it from the roof line.
And that's the rear one. There's another chimney on that wall of the house.
Right. So we're talking
The
about
northwest.
I see.
The-
There we go.
There you
Yeah,
go,
yeah.
the northwest, exactly.
And he
Oh.
would be using the traditional lime mortar to protect that old brick.
Yes. And he says he has some brick saved of that type that would match. And then he would save also from the brick that he takes down. And he also talked about handmade brick. So I'm not sure what his source is for that, but handmade brick that would match, apparently.
Frank, do you have any further comments on this one?
No, as far as the chimneys go, this is fairly standard procedure and
Yeah.
I just forgot his name. Anyway, the mason always uses a lime-based mortar. That is his go-to and does very nice pointing and laying work. So I totally confident he will reconstruct that chimney to its existing configuration.
I think on the field trip yesterday, we did see that the east side, there was some visibility for some distance of some of the panels.
Yeah.
And also a very small amount on the west side,
Oh, is that right?
but it's like a 30-foot stretch of sidewalk that you could catch a glimpse of one or two of them, I think, in there. Any further questions? Thoughts? I don't know. I think my own view is that it's pretty minimal, the view of these panels in this case, and that it would be acceptable. Do
So
we-
the chimney work doesn't need approval because that's just going to be rebuilding in kind. Is that correct? Or does he need approval for the chimney?
Well, mainly he was filling out the application because if you do a repair in kind, we wouldn't have had to look at it. But when it's completely restructed, we kind of like to put details in of how he would reconstruct it.
Want to make sure our
Yes.
motion is
Yes,
complete.
thank you.
I guess the one comment I had about the viewability on the solar panels, because I thought we were just concentrating on the chimneys. So those panels that are on the east side truly are visible, or will be visible from Beverly Street. Is there any chance those could be moved to another, and I know it's not optimal, if they could be pushed back or on another facet of the roof towards the rear?
I don't know that. That's something I could bring up with Tiger. I think that they heard me say, what's the most kind of bang for the buck we could get that would make it worthwhile installing panels at all. And
Right.
that's what they came back with. But it's possible there's some wiggle room there.
It looks like those are centered on that end, the east side. Maybe they could be shifted some further to the north. Then there are some east facing hips in the back.
Mm-hmm.
They'll fit there or not. That would be a question for them.
So potentially if the panel that's the farthest south there that you would be most likely to catch a glimpse of, if that could be relocated, that'd be more amenable to the commission.
a couple of those.
A couple of them.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
looking at that too. I mean, that's 6 of the 16 panels on the east facing.
And you can't see all of them, but the ones on the furthest south you can see.
The ones on from the chimney towards the street.
Yes.
Think
So
if we-
those two, what if those two could be moved onto the east facing slope one step up
Uh-huh.
above it?
I haven't been on my own roof because I'm afraid of heights, so I can't,
Well,
I can't picture it, but,
I'm going to air my concern that I shared with my colleague, which is that we're pro solar, but the visual impact of this is something we can't just ignore and give blanket approvals for solar because
Mhm.
solar has redeeming qualities, and we've
Mhm.
got to balance that with the need to protect the historic guidelines that we are tasked with upholding. So,
Mhm, mhm.
I mean, if those are the most offensive couple of squares, I wonder if they could be relocated.
I guess we would have to table it while the applicant finds out more information on that. Would you be willing to do that?
I mean, we'd like to move forward, so sure. So I would go to Tiger and say there's concern about the southernmost 2 panels, is that right?
Because
And-
when you're on that uphill side, that
Right.
makes that roof face much more visible than the west facing slope.
And I see there's a chimney there too, so I mean, maybe maybe they would be happy to relocate a couple of those panels, because I'm sure that chimney would cast a shadow as well.
And again, and they would be the best ones to determine where else
Yeah,
to do it.
yeah, I'll circle back with them. And then do I appear,
We would
There we
table
go.
it until the next meeting.
okay,
Or
Yeah.
until you got the information together to come back.
okay. Okay,
But we can make a decision on the chimney.
Okay.
All right, based on all that, do we have a motion?
I move we table this request until the July meeting or until the owner returns.
Second. About the chimney.
And we approve the rebuilding of the chimney with the appropriate lime mortar and reusing the bricks to return it to its original.
okay.
Second. And motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Passes unanimously. Thank you
Thank you
very
very
much. Good luck.
Yeah.
Since the item is tabled, a portion of it, there's extra pens there. You get another pen.
Carter.
Back here.
See, this is a wonderful thing. I don't know if it'll do it on your.
Okay, next item. Third item of the night, certificate of appropriateness for 29 East Beverly Street. Michael Cerruti, Roger Decker, Decker Realty, rooftop structure alteration.
Hello, can you hear me? Hello?
Good evening. Is Mr. Cerruti going to be joining us by a Zoom link or something? I thought that he was.
He's on Zoom.
I am.
He's
Yeah.
on
Not on
Zoom.
there.
Oh.
He's on now.
He's on
Oh,
there.
okay.
But let me see if I can get him up on the screen.
I thought he wanted to do the initial speaking. I managed this building for him since he lives,
There he
there
is.
he is now. So he lives out of town.
Okay.
But I would defer to allow him to begin this process, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Can you hear me?
Welcome.
Hello?
You're muted. We can't hear you.
1 minute.
He's gonna go get out of the computer. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, when the phone gets close to my computer, it switches to.
Yep. We've got you pretty good now.
Okay. All right. So, all right. Okay. If everybody can hear me, my name is Michael Cerruti. I'm a member of the company that owns the building at 29 East Beverly Street. And we, as is described in the certificate of appropriateness, we're requesting a variance from the requirement to restore the stucco that was previously existing but had to be removed under duress. The material was separating from the structure and was threatening to separate and fall to the street, posing a threat to the public and property there on the side, on the road near the sidewalk. So we sought out masons, and Mr. Decker can speak in more detail to this, as he was the one who was there and actually met with the masons to discuss the proposed work. And in my conversation with him, he told me that the masons weren't willing to do the job, but more importantly, they said that even if they did, that the type of stucco work they do would not match the stucco work that was existing due to a change in the methods and materials, is my understanding of it. We, of course, had no idea how long the stucco that was separating would remain attached, which was, of course, our primary concern. That was accelerated by the approach of hurricane. I think it was Hurricane Elaine. And so out of necessity, Mr. Decker found a local contractor who, using a lift, removed the existing material and then replaced it with material that we had available. The intent was to find a material that would be as inconspicuous as possible, paint it the same color as the remainder of the building in order to not call any attention to it. And that is where the matter rested. Do you have any questions of me?
What is beneath the stucco?
Yeah, that's exactly what my next question was going to be.
Okay, so what was beneath the stucco was some, as it was, there was, first of all, there was an area approximately the size of, I'd say, 2 foot square, in 3 foot square maybe, to the right of that window that was bulging off and ready to fall off. So the original type of stucco that would have been put on there, the building had some, I would have thought some type of sheathing or something under there, but there was nothing. When it was taken off, it was just studs, and there was wire mesh, wire mesh attached to the studs, and the stucco applied to that. So it was, some of the studs were beginning to rot. A couple of them had to be repaired and replaced, and as well as some of the window trim, the right side of the window trim was beginning to rot there as well. And the guy that was doing it, he started when he removed the stucco, it just kept coming off more and more and more. And so we just had to make a decision to do everything over to that chimney, and get, so that it wasn't a safety concern, number one, because it was in imminent danger of collapse. But the process then was the next day after he got all that down, we had a lift parked on the street right there. That hurricane moved in from North Carolina. It was the one that did so much damage in North Carolina, and it just was raining and raining. And he just had to get that area sealed up. So he did apply sheathing under that, then onto, he replaced some studs, put sheathing on there, put some Tyvek or similar product, house wrap under that to try to seal it, and then put the 3/4 inch exterior plywood that you see there, which is a similar board and like a product that would give the effect of board and batten siding. It is a real wood product. Part of the decision there was at the time that we were doing this work, we had been to this board already with ideas, and I talked to Mr. Strassler about redoing the facade on the front of the building. And we suggested a drive-it type stucco for the front, and that idea was rejected due to it not being a type of product that was already on the building or similar for the era of the building. So I thought I better not want to drive it back onto this up here, because we couldn't get anybody to do that kind of traditional stucco. I'd searched and searched and just could not come out. I even called Alan Weekly because I know him very well, and he said no, he didn't do it, but he didn't even know anybody that would do it. And so in any case, we had to kind of make a decision to get it sealed up, because it was just the fellow literally worked in the rain to do that, and then it stopped raining enough, that he could get it dried out by the end of the week and painted. So and then he did have to replace some of the freeze board at the top and the soffit also, where there was some rot going on up there to the left of those corbels. So there was quite an extensive amount of replacement of wood, and everything was replaced with wood. And he did, put a couple coats of paint on it, and of course matched the color as best as he could. So we just had to make a command decision there to get it sealed up, or it was going to be coming through the roof, the ceiling of the next floor down. I guess the theory there was that it's 4 stories in the air, and to a casual observer, we felt that it wasn't objectionable, and I didn't really think that it was something that we needed to. I guess I'll plead ignorance that I didn't know that we needed to go to such lengths to get it approved.
Is that an elevator shaft?
It is. It's a shaft for an old elevator, and it is still in place. It's one of the old Otis squirrel cage type elevators, if you will, that's permanently moored on the 2nd floor. The winches and the cabling and all that is still in place in that structure behind that window, although it's completely disconnected from electricity. So it's not of use, but all the elements of the elevator are in place in the building. So I guess the reason we are here is that it was brought to the attention of your board, and we just need to know if what we've done there is acceptable in this case. The remaining stucco is around the sides and the back of that structure. It is visible depending on where you look. I brought some photographs if you want to.
Yeah, we can see it in this photo.
Yeah, we went by there yesterday, so.
You can see what it looks like,
Here, with
from,
you Give this.
so it is, depending on where you are. Now, I took that photograph from the roof of 103 East Beverly. I was up there the other day with an HVAC contractor making a repair to a heat pump. So I just snapped that photograph that's in your hand there just because I knew this meeting was upcoming. So it is, I'm 2 stories off the ground when you look at that. But from the street,
Talking about.
I would argue that it's a little more difficult to see.
They're all the way up.
I think there's a general understanding of how the process went during Hurricane Helene and how it needed to be closed in quickly, at least as a temporary measure. I don't think this commission would have approved the T111 plywood for that spot. Personally, I feel like it is visible. I notice it virtually every day when I walk by it. And I have worked on some projects where we did its textured stucco very similar to this, which was on masonry though. It was not on studs. So I will say that.
Would,
So I think it is possible that this could be done. But if it was not possible, I don't think the finish that's up there would be appropriate.
would a hardy panel, a cementatious panel, instead of take the T111 off, put the hardy panel up and then finish it with the drive it to give it the texture?
And I don't think not drive it though.
Oh. I'm not familiar with drive it.
Yeah. Well, that's it's on a foam and it has a.
No, not instead of no foam and all. I'm talking about just to get because I saw a picture of somebody rolling on a drive it to give it the texture. So I thought it was some sort of stucco.
It's a synthetic
similar.
stucco system.
Sure, but
Right.
if you're putting it on a thin cementatious base, because I agree the T111 stands out. But as a former contractor and dealing with something at that height, I'm thinking if I was doing the job, I'm trying to find a safe and reasonable solution is, I guess, which is not necessarily my role, but one of the reasons I joined the commission was because I've been in his shoes.
Well, I mean, I would think that if it was proven that the stucco could not be done, then another material, acceptable material, would have to go there in its place. For sure. Frank, do you have any comments on this?
No, I'm surprised Alan Weekly wouldn't do it. But there are a couple other masons in the area that do traditional masonry, and they may have had a hand in doing some stucco work. Traditional stucco work isn't anything all that crazy. It's throwing it on and troweling it and texturing it. And I would say that since the wire lath was on studs, that was its original finish. Otherwise, you'd have seen lap siding underneath it or some other type of siding product. So it was probably the original finish there. One of the things that makes stucco fail is putting modern paint on it because it traps moisture in it. So originally it would have been stained with a breathable finish.
In this case, I think it was failing because the wire was so elderly, if you will, that it was just decoupling from the studs, and the studs were beginning to rot as well, further enhancing the availability of the nail to hang on.
Right. It might have been done 100 years ago.
Yeah, sure.
But I would think today.
Although I do know that the elevator shaft, I don't believe is original to the building. I think the elevator was built after the building was built. So when that was, turn of the century, right there after possibly, but not long after the building was built.
Mhm. Most likely. I agree. Frank, you were going to say something else?
Oh, I would think on that probably Hardy or somebody makes a backer for a stucco product like that.
I guess the other factor on the T111 is there are horizontal joints where moisture can get in right now. So it's questionable how long this would last as it is in place. And we wouldn't want it to stick out too far or it might be out proud of the existing trim. So that's another factor to take into account.
Yeah, I can't answer, how much relief the trim has from the structure that's there now from the T111. I do feel it does probably come out an inch or so, but you wouldn't want it to be flush.
It sounds like he's sheathed around the existing trim and then T111 on top of that, which would be a little thicker on the trim than traditional.
I mean, I would think the T111 would need to be removed and better backer board put over top of the studs and the stucco onto that or other finish. Any further discussion? Do we have a motion on this?
All right, give me a second. So, well, what am I approving? Are we disapproving the variance? They've asked for a variance, not for a certificate of approval. Is that correct?
We've asked for a variance to allow what's there to remain.
I move that we deny the variance to allow what's there to remain.
My understanding in the application, the way it was submitted, is that they were asking for you to approve what was there, but if you weren't okay with that, then that was the second part of the.
Okay, I move that the variance in place of the certificate of appropriateness for what is there be denied.
And then the second part.
And that it should be replaced with a cementatious backer and stucco finish to as closely match the existing stucco as possible.
Okay, so that would be the question. If
I am
we're
not-
going
if
to
it's
go
a-
through the work of removing what's there and putting up something new, we need to know exactly what makes you happy in the new product.
If it's a painted product, and we can talk about stucco, traditional stucco, not needing to breathe and et cetera. It's all painted now. As long as it's visually appears as pretty close to the original stucco, do we care what the actual product is?
Well, we're talking about traditional stucco as the preferred option, I think.
But it's all painted.
Yeah.
Their second submittal is there, install a 1/2 inch cement board over the existing plywood by screwing it to the base studs, area to be covered, 8x10, tape and seal with a fiberglass mesh and waterproof thin set.
This your
Install-
proposal?
Yes, that's their proposal. Install a scratch coat of stucco base at the cement board base, install a finished coat of stucco to the base coat and paint the area to match the existing building color.
Should I put all of that in a motion?
Well, you
I
could
think
say
that you
as
can
submitted.
Yeah,
I-
as submitted for the stucco.
And that we approve
That would be at the heart of what you're after, is to remove what's there, install cement board, and then you would do a scratch coat and then a finish coat on top of that. As a former contractor myself, I would know that would be the process, but it's in the situation we were with rain and everything, we just couldn't do it.
And I think
So,
I
so
understand that. No one's
no one disputes
getting
that. I
on their
get that.
case about that.
So, but is that going to suffice?
I think the difference would be to remove the T111 and replace that, right?
Yes.
And then if they're unable to find anyone that can do the stucco, then they would return to us with another alternative.
Okay. Yeah, that'll work.
Okay, so what time frame are we looking at to complete the work?
Typically Linda?
Right. So in this instance, you're under the notice of violation in regards to the work being done without a permit. Normally, you have a year to complete the work when it's just being proposed, but we would at least like to see it within 6 months.
6 months, okay. And does the contractor then need to come in and apply for a permit?
They would have to check with building services in regards to if a building permit's required, but when you get the approval by the historic commission, that's the zoning approval.
Okay. Well, that's what seemed to happen when we repaired the facade. You know, we got the approval for what we did there and we did the work, which I think turned out nice. So,
Right. Yeah, always just, they review it, the commission reviews it for the historic approval, but you should always check with building services to make sure that they're not going to require a permit or review.
So it would be incumbent on us then to find a contractor to perform that work that will do that traditional stucco work.
Oh.
That's the next.
If you're unable to do that, then come back to us and we'll see what we can do to work with you.
Okay, understood.
Okay.
Michael, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yep. Yeah. Any questions?
Well, I couldn't hear the members of the commission very well, but we can talk about it as long as you understand. As long as you understand what the requirement is, then we will proceed with that.
Okay. Yeah, I have a clear understanding.
Okay. All right. So are they able to hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Well, thank you for your time. And if you have no further questions of me, then Mr. Decker understands the work that needs to be done, and we will do what we need to comply.
All right. One other item, Mr. Decker. Carter here just was asking the question,
Michael.
would it be easier if we tabled this while you investigate the stucco option and then come back to us?
Yeah, I think his question, Michael, is should we table this while we investigate the stucco options and then come back just to make sure we can find an appropriate contractor?
Yeah, it sounds like a good idea to me. And since it was suggested by a member of the commission, then we would certainly agree with that.
Okay, all right, let's go ahead with that. And I'll try to get that in by the next meeting.
Sounds good.
Okay.
So Alex, you can modify your, to deny the variance, but then table it.
I'm going to withdraw the partial motion I had made and table this until the next meeting or when they return.
What type of lead time do you need to be on the agenda?
So for clarification, you were denying the request to leave it as is and
We are
then
denying
tabling the other
We are
option.
denying the variance and tabling the submitted alternative.
The deadlines to submit are the first Tuesday of the month.
All right, not sure we can make that for the July meeting, so we'll probably be on the August meeting. Okay.
All right.
Okay, very good. Anything else for me? All right,
Great.
thank you.
Thank you. Okay, second. Okay, motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Chair votes aye. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you very much, Mr. Decker. All right, that's the end of our new business. For old business, we have the certificate of appropriateness for 201 North Madison Street for a COA extension request. Joffrey Easley.
Hello, I'm Joffrey Esley. We have seen each other a few times, and this particular item was been approved a couple of times because I'm very slow, and I have a very slow contractor. And together we kind of meld together a perfect synthesis of slowness. But I do hope to get it done this time. So primarily it's an issue of the door because that's going to be the big thing. The oven vent does need to go in at some point. I would like to put an outside electrical outlet there. Both of which are barely visible from the street, but they are visible. The awning definitely is visible, or the awning, I should say. The French door is definitely visible. You can see I did the patio there, so that's completed. That was something you guys approved. Kind of useless now without the French door, but it looks nice.
So what is new for this,
There is nothing new. I'm just wanting an extension.
just the extension?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
right? Well, I don't have a problem with that.
So for clarification, on the application, it said new, it was adding an outlet.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. It does say the exterior outlet is new. You're right. Apologies.
One exterior outlet.
Yeah, number 5 item on the slide. You're not showing the slide. All right. You guys have the slide, the pictures?
Yes,
Okay.
sorry,
All right.
I've
Yeah. No problem.
not zoom into those yet.
It filled it out, a month and a half ago, so it's kind
There you go.
of slipped my mind. a
Yeah,
little
the
bit.
exterior
Yeah,
outlet there.
that's new.
Apologies.
So I don't have to run a cord through the window or something embarrassing like that.
Any members have any comments on this? Okay. I think it's pretty cut and dried on this, pretty insignificant change there. Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion. I move the certificate of appropriateness be approved for extension for, what is it, 2 years?
It's 1 year.
1 year.
Very good.
All right. Motion's been made.
And that it cover the electrical outlet on the, what would that be?
That'd be north,
North side of-
northish.
North side of the house, electrical outlet.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Good luck in the next year.
All right. Thank you.
And just remember, you'll need an electrical permit to add that outlet.
Yeah.
That was good. Thank you. All right. Next on our old business, certificate of appropriateness for 113 West Beverly Street, move storefront window, new bulkhead with counter, and install roll-up door or some type of door there. Johann Westenberg.
Hi, good evening. I'm Johann Westenberg, the owner of 113 West Beverly Street, along with Machtel Schremeyer. And my new tenants are Nikki West and Jeremy Wimpy from Ciders from Mars, who will be moving into that front space. Currently, the occupants are Studio Broad. Their lease is up, so they're headed out. As you know, Ciders from Mars is a public venue, and we are really looking forward to having another retail venue on West Beverly Street that sort of ties in Blue Point, Sama, and helps tourism and businesses at that far end of West Beverly get a bigger share of the traffic. We were at, I was not at the last meeting. I was in on the Zoom, and these drawings were tabled because there was some question from one of your colleagues about sight lines. And so what I really want to focus on is I want to focus on these two drawings at the bottom. And that's where we have done all of our revisions. In an earlier iteration of the plans, the argument was made by the Historic Commission panel that the sight lines of the window brackets where you see that line going horizontally across in the middle segment of the left bottom drawing. You'll see that there's a straight line kind of going across the glass panel, and then you'll see it sort of connecting across the top of the doors so that you have this kind of clean, long edge. In a previous iteration of this proposal, the roll up, it's not really a roll up, it's like a fold up. The fold up door had 3 panels. And the problem was that, and I thought Machtel, my wife, she really liked the argument, not so much that we had to come back, but the argument was that, you saw those 3 panels of glass and it changed the layout of the fixed glass that is original to the building. And, I guess as purists, that Machtelt and I both are, this is a 1983 building, so we want 1983 ideas to go with the building. And then, so in keeping with that idea, having a fold up window is actually rather in keeping with the style of the building. Sort of like think of a K car, and
Lee Iacocca.
Lee Iacocca. He was a good man back in the day. So anyway, I'm not trying to make light of this, but this is a real rethink of how that streetscape is going to look. And what we were really shooting for is how can we make the streetscape look essentially as it already does without inhibiting or impacting negatively our tenants' potential for retail service. Please ask questions. I'll do my best to answer.
All right. Have questions on this?
So are you proposing the lower iteration?
Yes, sir, that's correct. The lower iteration. And, just to preempt the discussion of the upper iteration, because that's something we really would like to try to avoid for 2 reasons. Number one is that vertical folding glass windows are notoriously leaky. You get these, when it rains down, the layover between the folds tends to gather water and bacteria, and that bacteria tends to break down the seal. So over the course of time, you really have a product that doesn't hold its value. And then the other major concern that we had about that upper iteration is that once you fold those windows out, they push into the street probably more than 15, 20 inches. And what we're worried about is that, it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and you've got, the street blocked off, and you've got all these kids doing handstands, doing flips, and running their cars around, and we're just not just a little bit concerned, but terribly concerned that some kid's going to whack their head on that. So we felt that was plenty of reason, just from terms of safety and in terms of building integrity, to really push for this fold up of the bottom iteration.
I'd say from my point of view, I agree with all of that. I like the bottom version. Proportions look good. I think it's a good solution.
Thanks. I need to tip my hat to the architect, Chrissy, who's been working on this furiously. So if you're good with it, I'm sure she'll be very happy to hear that. Thank you.
Frank, did you have any comments?
No.
Okay. Any further comments from commission? All right. Do we have a motion?
I move for the approval of the certificate of appropriateness based on the fact that the building was constructed in 1983 and is a non-contributing structure to the district, and that the proposed changes are in keeping with the building itself and with the purpose of that block of the city's comprehensive plan.
All right, motion's been made. Do we have?
And I'm specifically referring to A 1.1, the lower right hand and lower left hand with
Yes, sir, that's
Oh,
correct.
just
That's,
in-
yeah, so the left-hand diagram that you see, the schematic there, that's with the window down, and then the right
Yeah.
hand is with the
Yep.
window up. Yeah.
just for clarification.
All right, do we have a second? Second. Motion been made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Chair votes aye.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you. Thank you.
Good
Craig.
luck. Thank you.
Thank you, Linda.
Just
Uh-huh,
one
absolutely.
question. Oh, I'm sorry. Do you need to do the awning?
We can talk about the awning. At this point in time, that awning, do you want to talk about it?
I think if I could, last month we talked about the awning and I think you guys asked for something like this. Although the commission doesn't really look at awnings. Is it like a cloth or is it?
Yeah, so I do remember this was discussed last month. The awning that is there is schematic, and it can either be done in cloth, it can be done in another material. We would prefer a mesh that's not solid. But the reason that we don't have a final on that right yet, and this is pretty straightforward. There's already a large steel, there are the three steel beams that are up on that building were the three steel beams that supported a really horrendous plexiglass fantasy that when we bought the building, we called up the office and we said, what do we do about that? And they said, they don't even need a permit to take that down. So we took it down, but the steel we kept, and the lighting, I restored all of the lights along those beams. And what's going to need to happen when we do come up with an awning plan is we want to reinstall on the stucco, there were steel angle iron beams the length of the frames. Are you following me? And those would sit back up above the lights as they were, but we haven't come up with a proper mesh design yet. And as soon as we do, we'll put that forward and shoot for that.
That sounds like we just need to approve the opening for now.
That's
Right.
correct. We're asking only for, I'm sorry. We're asking only for the bottom left and right iteration and the opening of that roll up.
Okay.
Right. And awnings are exempt. They're under regular maintenance and so we wouldn't review that.
Right. Unless there's something permanent like a steel structure or
Right.
something like
Right.
that.
Yeah. So the awning, I'm not versed on this, Linda, but the awning is going to be a mesh thing. We just haven't figured out how to put it out there yet.
Well, I know at the last meeting, I was the one who was suggesting something linear along there, but I like.
Man after my own heart, we'd like something linear as well.
But this looks good also, so I
Thank you.
think it's a good direction.
Thank you.
All right, so I think that still covers it. I don't think we need to change it.
Right now, you're good. Just need a vote.
All right,
Did you-
well, thanks.
We not
you already-
voted? We did vote.
Yeah,
Yeah, we voted.
Yes, no, Frank.
We voted.
I didn't want you to walk away without it being done.
where was I that day?
That's good.
We're good?
All right.
Good.
Yep.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay, so that's the end of our old business. Is there any other business?
Nothing in regards to any business or anything, but I would like to thank Councilman Overholzer for joining us this evening.
Yes,
Brad
very-
couldn't be here, so
thank you.
he got to come in and sub in, and we appreciate you coming.
Overwood.
All right. Well, in that case, I will adjourn tonight's meeting.
Can you turn it off?
Overwood. Yes.